AIDS? That's a bit rude. And you don't know what I do privately. Like, what? Are you guys crazy? So it's interesting because Sarah reacting that way did the exact thing I said it was going to do. She got attention, right? She's making money and then she gets to claim victimhood because that's always what happens. Girls go onto the internet, they post things looking for attention, they get the attention they asked for, and then they play victim. And it's like, why do women go into a man's world if they can't take what comes in it? And now we're going to do the victimhood arc. So knowing that she threw the first punch, Brett Cooper is going to give an overview of the other back and forths. Let's look at how she's going to frame it. She's going to skip over her throwing the first punch at me.
On the topic of infighting, we need to talk about what is going on in the right-wing girl boss, trad wife, I don't even know, corner of X right now, because they are melting down. So all of this started when a girl...
And remember, these are women saying they're Christian. I'm like, you're Christian, but this is, I'm a bad person. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. I'm evil. I'm the worst. They tell me this every day. I'll believe it. Sure. But if you're gonna, yeah, I know, Sarah, you were publicly seen with a Mexican guy that you dated. So if you're going to come at me, do you know what I mean? Like, isn't this the pot calling the kettle? Like, were you guys virgins? Like all of you? Really? All right.
Posted a photo of her engagement ring and she said that she'd gotten engaged. So I want to lay out these
And by the way, conservative women can never they don't see any issue with putting things publicly. And by the way, I'm not even saying it's immoral. But what I'm saying is I don't have to believe this is about God or love then. If you're going to incentivize other things. And by the way, I don't really care about the ring. It's not the ring. It was more of a pattern of women showing the ring and never the guy. Never.
Characters for you, because I was trying to explain this to Alex. I was trying to explain this to a couple of people on my team. I was like, guys, we have to talk about this, but it was so convoluted. So in case you have not been following this insane scandal that has been unfolding for days, these are the cast of characters. Okay, so the beef online that we are seeing is between a girl named Sarah Stock. She is the one who...
And now watch, they're going to frame her as the victim. And this is why men shoot themselves. Sorry, that was too far. That was too far. YouTube guidelines. I shouldn't have said that. But no, Doug MPA, wait, we're going to do the... I'm going to spit. We're going to react to this and then we're going to take callers. So we're going to wait on this. You guys can either call it or not, this is why, because this gaslighting, I'm going nuts. I'm not allowed to comment without you guys calling me a whore. Really? And it would be one thing if I had some nudes on the internet or something, or like a porno come out, but because of an ex-boyfriend, really? Truly? I get it. It's...
got engaged and posted her ring. Pearl Davis, just Pearly Things on X. There she is right there. Emily Wilson, who goes by Emily Saves America online. And Morgan Ariel, who is another conservative MAGA trad style influencer. There's her photo. Sorry, that took a second. There she is. So these are all like conservative, I'm saying that with like really serious air quotes, MAGA, right-wing, trad-ish influencers. That's just what you need to know. And this entire scandal started with this post. So Sarah Stock, who has not talked about publicly being in a relationship, has not talked about...
So now she's already running cover. And remember, this is women defending power because Brett gets money and power from her social media. So do I, but I'm open about it, right? I'm not pretending to be something I'm not, right? But they're going to defend it till the grave and then gaslight you. And then I'm going to shoot myself. So she's already like, this is the softball coverage they give women. It's insane.
yeah, that's really just the whole point. She posted this photo of her.
She is pregnant. And do you know why I know? Because she used it for clout too. They all do. This isn't an insult. This is a fact. And I'm going to go through their Instagrams. All right.
Hand with a ring on it. And she says, I won. So she is announcing that not only is she in a relationship, which people did.
Brett, did you? Okay.
No, but she also is engaged.
Now, Brett's going to do it this way because she did the same thing, right? Now, Brett's going to, okay.
I mean, I did the same thing. Nobody really knew that I was dating Alex, and then I popped up and I was like, hey, actually, I'm getting married. We're getting engaged.
Okay. Now, mind you, I'll show you. Brett did the same thing. Brett, and by the way, I am not saying this is wrong, but you have to understand, Brett. You have to understand where I'm coming from. And actually, Brett's like the only e-girl I don't predict divorce for. Based on the patterns I've seen, I actually think it's going to work out. But like if you're doing this like whole editorial about your wedding, it's going to make me think that you're more into the clout than the God thing, right? I mean, and I'm immoral for like thinking that. It's cute. She looked beautiful. Seriously stunning. And like I think they're an adorable couple. Like seriously. But you know, again, we have to think of the incentives. Like if you're paid to be religious and you're paid to be trad, you know, the only way I'm going to think that you mean it is if you don't make money off it or use it for clout. And I'm gaslit to eternity over this. It's crazy. Okay. So she's got to obviously do the same thing. Oh, not that one. This one. Here we go. In the past few years, I've met the most influential men on the planet. Andrew Tate, Pierce Morgan, entrepreneurs, billionaires. And I don't want you just to watch. I want you to learn directly from them. When I meet high-level men, we create private content, exclusive trainings, and courses you can't get anywhere else. If you want access to my network, go to pearlinvite.com and apply. The first link in the description, and only serious men allowed.
So anyway, she did that. And this post should not have been controversial at all. She had a funny caption, I won. I don't know if she's saying that, you know, to dunk on other women.
It seems like a generational thing. See, that's you simps defending. It's a generational thing. You're right, it is. It totally is a generational thing. That's why, that was the point of my post. That was the exact point, is that modern marriage today, not only are men at a disadvantage when they get married today, but they also have to help build their girlfriend's brand online. And that is part of modern relationships. That's part of it. That's the trend. And a lot of people will come back at me and say, but Pearl, it's normal nowadays. That's not true. That's not true. It's normal for women. That is not normal for men. Men don't post their private lives on social media. Most men barely have an Instagram. Social media is for women.
Or she's saying that she won because she's getting married and she loves her fiance, whatever it is. I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so nice. That's great. Like, this should not have been controversial in the slightest, but right-wing feminists, MAGA, whatever they are, now,
are you going to give me fair coverage? They never do. They never do.
Exploded for a myriad of reasons online, but the conversation quickly became about the size of her ring. And it was specifically
Now remember, the actual reason this went viral was because of Sarah's first comment calling me a whore. Okay, that was her first comment. I get it. I had an interracial relationship. You guys don't like it. It's fine. It's fine. I get it. It's fine. It was a long time ago. It didn't work out. I get it. Okay. But it wouldn't have even gone that viral. I've had so many posts of that same post, but for like 5 different e-girls. Brett has to editorialize everything. She can't just present the facts. Also, I can't stand Spinstergram. Yeah, I know. Now, she just skipped over what made this viral, and she's going to paint Sarah as a victim when Sarah started it. And hey, I got in the kitchen. I'm not even complaining. I'm really not. But I can defend myself. I can. And I will. I will. So now Emily comes in, and I'm sorry, Emily. I do like you. We're pals, but I don't understand your obsession with money. I really don't. Maybe, it's just, I don't know. I'm just not a materialistic person. I mean, it's just not me. I personally, the ring doesn't really matter, but then she says the ring size. I don't think the size matters, but I just wonder why men can't do nice things for us without it being public anymore. That was my question. That was seriously my question. And all the simps, right? They'll downplay it because they don't realize what women are doing. Half of these women can and will divorce their husbands and use their brand as marketing for husband number 2. I've seen this film before. I don't wish it on them. I don't hope it happens. But, I would have seemed like a dick if I said the same thing about Lauren Southern 5 years ago. There's some women that have certain behaviors that usually predict a divorce later. This wasn't made by me, but by the observations of thousands of men. I did not create this. And when women show off the resources that men give them, rather than the boy or rather than the guy, it's usually not looking good for you, fellas. I hate to break it to you. And I want to just use an equivalent, like, if I make dinner for, let's say I make dinner for someone, right? And they use that and they say, hey, and the guys are posting online, look how awesome I am. I can get my wife to, I won, Or if a guy buys you flowers and the women are taking pictures of it and putting in the group chat. Women don't care about privacy as much, so it would actually work better on women. But it shows a lack of understanding of men because most men don't want to give a girl a ring and have an e-girl crash out over it. They don't. That's not really. And guys, you have to understand, men make concessions over time and accept things they don't really like. So most of your simp husbands aren't really honest with you. I have no idea if hers is, right? This isn't an attack on her, but a lot of times women will come in and say, my husband doesn't care if I do this. Usually they care, they just shut up, right? They just stop talking because it's easier to just not care. So I said, I don't think the size matters. She says size matters.
Fooled by this comment from Emily. She just said the ring size with the dead emoji, which means LOL. And guys, this is where it really gets juicy. All hell broke loose from here. And I'm not going to read every word in all of these tweets because they are so graphic and there are things that I don't even want to say online, but I will have my...
Now I am going to admit fault here. I am going to say where I was wrong. Morgan Ariel, I was wrong in this part. I was. And I'm gonna say this now. If you come on the stream, I was
Producer,
wrong.
flash them up on screen. You can pause these. You can read them. You can enjoy them. But if you have children watching in the background, I know a lot of you guys sit with your kids and watch this. This might not be the episode. You might want to turn this off or cover their ears because what is going on with these women is insane. All right. So Morgan Ariel, that's one of the girls we talked about. She quote tweeted that comment from Emily Saves America, and she said, "You give it up for free, ho. Might want to sit this one out."
Okay, so I do regret my next comment. I do. I really do. She said, "You gave it up for free, ho, and you might want to sit this one out." And Morgan, I just thought this was really ironic because she has a kid. Do you know what I mean? So if you're saying that you gave it up for free, I'm like, don't you have a child, ma'am? Do you know what I mean? I think she's a single mom. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, so I do regret this part. I should not have gone below the belt. I should not, but I just could not. I was reading this and I'm like, I just couldn't. And this is public knowledge, right? This isn't, she put all this on the internet. So I was just quoting back her. The second thing I quoted was she had a video talking about how she cured herself of HPV. Now, that's an STD, right? That's a STI or whatever. So actually, that should be our Friday STD show. We do STD shows on Friday, and we talk about STDs here. But I just thought it was a little ironic because you had like a video talking about your HPV and you have a kid. Look, I'm not saying she gave it up to everybody, but, and that's kind of like the women office. Women just call each other whores. And I'm like, we're all whores, all of us. I mean, you're either whoring for clout, whoring for money, or like you're either putting your relationship on the internet for clout, which I kind of think is a similar thing. But most of you, like if you weren't a virgin on your wedding day, you're no angel. And you could say, oh, I have a low body count. But that means I just have to believe you, which goes back to if we pan it back to the whiteboard, that pans back to this bullshit where I have to just take women's word. Like, it's annoying. Why do I just have to take your word? I don't know you hoes. I don't.
So she's saying you shouldn't even be commenting on this or about her ring size. You give it up for free. She's getting...
Yeah, and and that's the thing. So all these women get married and they get a ring and they think it just absolves them from everything they've done before, right? They just think, oh, I have a ring. Like, it's like it almost goes over their head that just because you get a ring, it doesn't make you a different person. Like, if you're crashing out on me because I pointed out you're posting for clout and you're calling me a whore in response. I mean, you might be married, but that doesn't mean you're a wife, right? That doesn't mean your character is of that. And look, I'm not here to virtue signal. I'm not a good person. So I'm not saying I am. I obviously, I went in it too. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to virtue signal and use your ring in your marriage to signal higher status and virtue, I just wish to see it. You know what I mean?
Married, she's staying in her lane, whatever, like sit this one out. And then Pearl jumps back in. She had already been tweeting.
Yeah, bitch, you did not put the original punch. You always do this, Brett. Your takes are always they're always defending women. I am the only one. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go nuts.
About Sarah and the ring and her marriage and all of that stuff. Pearl jumps in.
Yeah, I didn't need to do this. This I shouldn't have done. I regret this. I said, Morgan, you're a single mom with a public video admitting you have HPV. You might want to sit this out too. And by the way, when women's reputation, she's threatened to send lawyers. I'm like, it was the video you posted. And then I should send my lawyers at you because you said I probably have AIDS because I had a black boyfriend 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years. Like, all right, I get it. You guys are not with the interracial stuff. I get it. I totally get it. We dated. It didn't work out. It is what it is. But I was like, AIDS? That's a bit rude. And you don't know what I do privately. Like, what? Are you guys crazy? So you just made that up. You have no evidence of this. You put out a public video, and that's what they do. They just make stuff up. Yeah, I know. These e-girls, they're like, they virtue signal, and then they're racist right after. I'm like, what is wrong with these hoes? Now, again, I am taking accountability. Morgan Ariel, you did post it, but I shouldn't have did that.
She responds to Morgan and says, Morgan, you are
Mine was factual, though. And the thing is, on Twitter, if you do anything racial, all the groypers are there. They'll always ratio you. Always.
Single mother with a public video admitting that you have HPV. You may want to sit this one out, too. And then Morgan responds with that, which I will let you guys read on your own time. And then Emily jumps right back in. Again, guys, these are conservative female influencers, conservative in quotes, air quotes. Emily says, Morgan, your baby daddy abandoned you. You're raising a bastard child. But yet,
and Brett, like, come on, were you a virgin on your wedding day? Do you, like, this is the cosplay I can't stand. Brett, like, you went to a big school. I don't believe you either. I'm not calling you a whore, right? But you're a normal woman, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a normal woman. You have a sex drive, just like we all do. I'm sure maybe a black guy's in your past too. It seems like that's all the right-wing e-girls. It seems like it's all of them at this point. Apparently, this other one, they're saying on Twitter that she was like banged on a balcony at a TPUSA party. Now she's marrying a white guy too. It's like they all did the same thing. Mine just was on the internet, you know.
Somehow, some way you think you're better than me or anyone on this app. You gave it up for free, got left in the dust, and now post rage bait on X to supplement the inadequacy of your monthly.
No, but I'm not calling her a whore. I'm not. But I'm saying to some extent, all the women are. Like, I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm a saint, right? You guys are going to pretend you're saints, really? Like, truly? If you went to college, even if you didn't, I still don't believe you. If you lived on your own, I don't believe you. Unless you got married. The only one I might believe is Savannah. That is the only one, because she got married at like 19. But you guys, like, women have sex drives. And you're way hornier when you're younger. I'm just saying, like, those young women are like rabbits, all right? From the time they're like 15, even uncomfortably younger. The first person I remember being sexually active in my grade was before that. And I'm just supposed to give you the benefit of the doubt. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. For 6 years, bitch, do you think I'm as dumb as these simps? Do you think I'm stupid? You guys, all of you have incentives to lie about this. Oh, snap, Pearl's monetized. Thank you. All of you have incentives to lie. Why would you be honest? Sorry, I need to stop. But, and so I'm not even trying to. The only reason I said the first one, and I shouldn't have done, I should not have brought up the HPV, Morgan Ariel. It was because I just thought it was so ironic that she was saying that. Okay.
Child support.
And hit the like button. It'd be cool to break 2,000 today. It really would. Because all these other people, they're on the big platforms. They have simps defending them. They have other women defending them. But you know who's not going to get defended? It's me. Because I'm the only one. I'm one of the few influencers that's honest about this stuff. And it costs me everything, by the way. I don't get to have a good reputation, right? Because I don't take the money, right? I don't take the easy money that, you know, you can just do by virtue signaling and by putting, you know, yeah. And putting your relationship on, like, it, yeah.
Payments. Like, now this is like the cuts are going.
They are who we thought we were, and we were letting them off the hook. Yeah. I'm on the front line. I am on the front line. And, you know, this is what I get. But, you know, I would rather be honest than live a lie. And all of you probably have black guys in the past too. All right. You're not going to fool me, hoes. You guys are, come on. At least a Latino. Like,
going deep. Like, these women are lashing out. They are basically.
Yeah, they're not virgins. And if you believe that, I mean, that's fine. But like, come on, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Then you're just an idiot. Then maybe they're like finger blasted virgins where like they got finger blasted or they took it from the back door. They're not real ones though.
Trying to dunk on each other, like who is the most hoe of all of the hoes, who is the least trad. It is like, instead of
all hoes, all 100%, you, all. If you didn't wait till you're married, a hoe.
Like, this is like the reverse of what the left does. Like, the left will try to dunk on each other and they will try to be so morally superior. I'm more politically correct. I've done all these things. I've donated to these causes. I posted the black square. I do all the right things. I go to the right protests. On the right, it's just like, you are a hoe. You do this, you do whatever. It's just like tearing people down. Anyway, that's sort of what's happening. And then this is just where this is the doozy. This was like the tweet to end all tweets. You would think that it all peaked here, but it just kept going. So Morgan then responds and she says, she's talking to Emily. Oh my God. None of that is true, Emily. But unlike you, I don't lie.
Okay, Morgan, you have a video admitting to the HPV. I mean, I could play it, but I don't really care. Like, I don't really care. I don't care what these women did. I just thought it was ironic.
So here are some facts. Oh my God, I can't even believe I'm going to read this. No, Max, you can put this back on screen. People need to see this.
And they're saying I'm crashing out. I am crashing out. That's true. Because the gaslighting, the crashing out is more indicative of you guys because, I mean, you could gaslight to the point of crashing out. Okay, I'm going to go.
Let's bring it back. I'm so sorry. You were engaging in sexual acts, I would say, in the middle of a hotel lobby at a TPUS.
Okay. I don't really want to read this, but she's just saying that Emily basically was doing she hooked up with some guys I don't know if she did or didn't, but.
Say event. Well, everyone around, guys, it only took off from there. That was like 48 hours ago. And we are still talking about this. The tweets are still flying. The comment sections are still popping off. Now, it seems like at this point, the entire right wing has, commented on what I'll call Ringgate. They are either debating the value of an engagement ring and how big an engagement ring should be, whether men, should propose with a ring pop or actually get something, more expensive. The values behind that, they're debating that. They're also talking about the values or lack thereof, I would say, of these influencers who are tweeting. And so I've been trying to think about how I feel about all of this and what I want to say, because obviously I wanted to talk about because it's funny. And per
men assume their vajayjays are like EPA, super fun sites.
Usual things that happen online in the real world are far more dramatic and funnier, in my opinion, than.
I mean, Isabella, you got caught up too, right? I mean, I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to embarrass you because we both know what it is, right? I'm really not. I'm not trying to be a dick. But even when it came up for you, I was thinking that half these hoes did the same, the costume. I was thinking really? None of you did anything in school? Come on. I just see you in the chat. Let's not play pretend here, right? Come on.
Reality TV. This is basically Jerry Springer. This is hilarious. But I think that there is a bigger point here that we should discuss. And a couple things are true. First of all, unfortunately, women are going to women. They are going to lash out. They are going to be petty and jealous. They're going to be competitive. They're going to do all of this for attention online, which ironically, just to bring this back up, Emily tweeted about before all of this started. She had a tweet where she said, women just hate other women. And
I like how you can bring up an old tweet of Emily's, Brett, but you couldn't bring up the tweet of her attacking me first.
Down to jealousy. It's that simple. And yet she was one who was trashing this girl because of the size of her ring. Now, another point that I want to make about ring sizes, just for any of the guys out there or girls who are now looking at their rings or thinking about getting engaged, whatever. In my opinion, it's every situation is different. Every relationship is different.
And by the way, to be fair, Emily's the only one being honest. I did a spreadsheet of all the conservative women, the average net worth of their husbands, right? And it was 10 million. It was 10 million was the average. So Emily's at least being honest here. Most women are gold digging to some degree. It really isn't, no offense, Emily, but I don't think it's the classiest to say that. But at least she's being real, right? She's saying that's what I want. She's going for what she wants. But it might not be right. You might say that. But half the women, if you Google their husbands, it's their net worth is $1 million plus. So, yeah. How have I had one black boyfriend. So could we move on? I see the chat. I get it. It was a few years ago. All right, it happened.
Your values and your priorities, even down to what kind of ring you want or like or different. So just do you. Just do what makes you happy and tune everybody else out and stop shaming people for the size of their rings and their.
But see, know how she puts the accountability. She doesn't put it on the girl who posted the ring. And say, hey, if you post something like that, you might get negative attention. Even if you mean something positive, the world is not a nice place. And remember, there's pedophiles on Twitter. There are evil people on that. It's not your private Facebook friends. You're putting this out for the world to see. So it's on you. Whatever response you get, you're asking for it because you put it out there. That's why I don't understand why people put their kids out there. There's pedos on Twitter. And then again, it goes back to what do they care about? They say they care about God, right? But if you're putting your child on Twitter, that to me shows me that you care more about the money than the kid. Because what is the upside of putting your kid on Twitter? What's the upside?
Choices, like you genuinely like can't win. If you get a quote unquote real natural diamond and it's all you can afford, and so you get a really small one, that's wonderful, but people will still maybe make comments. But I also see things online where people get like a moissanite or a lab grown ring or some other kind of gemstone, and it's like
God, I don't care about these rings. Let me scoot forward.
I think the bigger issue is people right now don't even know what conservative values are anymore. And a lot of people have warned Republicans about that. Like, as you expand the big tent, these values are going to become eroded. We're not going to even know what we believe anymore. And unfortunately, those people were completely accurate. Like, we have spent, I personally have spent so much time this year talking about the left losing its way, not being genuine, not being authentic, losing touch.
Now this is a virtue signal, right? It's they're immoral, I'm moral. Oh my God, it just never ends. I get it, Brett. You guys are all more moral than me. You win. It's the moral off. You win.
With its party, especially young people, the values being all over the place, having like naked people at pride parades, but then having like Gavin Newsom with his like perfect, like coiffed blonde family that is like the complete antithesis to what you see like naked in the streets. Like everything is just insane and chaotic. But that also, I'm sorry, is what has happened on the right. Like you have MAGA, you have Christian conservatives, you have conservatives who aren't necessarily religious, you have libertarians who got involved, you have people from the left who joined in because they liked Tulsi or RFK Jr., whatever it may be, and everybody is fighting for dominance in regards to their values. And there's so much chaotic, confusion that nobody really knows what to believe. And a lot of these people will grift and leech onto these labels for money and attention online when they aren't actually living the values that are attached to that.
But here's the thing. None of them are. You cannot be in a conservative, in my opinion, and you might disagree. I don't think you can be in a conservative relationship if you are broadcasting your relationship for public consumption. I don't think you can. I don't think that's something that middle America can really relate to. I don't. Being able to make money off of love. So.
Label that they have now assigned themselves, if that makes sense. Sorry, I think that this is probably getting kind of jumbled, but I'm trying to get to a point here. Like these alleged stories about these.
I'm so above it all, but I'm still involved. Someone said, I know, and this is just virtue signaling. I'm above it. I am a good, this is what she's saying. I'm a good representative of conservatism. These women are not. I get it, Brett. We get it. We get it. All right.
Women and women like them and things that happen at these conferences, which I have attended as a student, I've spoken at, these aren't new to me, unfortunately. This is not shocking information. And it's not just women. I hear stories about men going to these conferences and cheating on their wives, straight men getting to these conferences and going on Grindr and hooking up with dudes. I did a whole interview with my friend Amir, and we talked about the hypocrisy and what he sees as a gay man at so many of these conferences. The trad women who LARP on.
And it's the same thing with Brett, right? It's like all the women get conservative once they can make money off of it. It's always just convenient. They convert magically when you can make money off of it. But I'm not saying they're not genuine, but if I look at the incentives, I'm less likely to believe it. And I think that's fair. I do.
Online for attention, but meanwhile are sleeping around with a bunch of guys behind the scenes, not actually living the values that they say that they are and are encouraging other women to follow. And this is not meant to discourage people or blackpill you guys. I'm
blackpilled. And you e-girls, not Brett. Brett's actually, she's nice, but she's always, I hate her. When she covers this stuff like this, it makes my blood boil. It makes my blood boil. It does,
Trying to be honest about all of it, because this breakdown that's happening on X right now, I think it actually is very indicative of where we are as an ideology or as a political party, whatever you want to call it. And this is why, in my opinion, at the end of the day, you can't put all of your faith or your trust in others to guide your values or.
Okay, I think we're going to skip over this.
Wanted to make here. Just log offline, go touch grass, no gold.
All right, so maybe I'll go through some of the back and forths and I'll just think of my thinking. I'll show you my thinking when I'm tweeting this stuff.